just cannot get away from the optics and the racial politics that are associated with the fact that the only person to have died in this country of Ebola is a West African black man, and that the 2 nurses infected are both women of color.
Yeah.
There is an optic to that undoubtedly could have some impact.
And it has impact in a negative way, too, because there's also the urban legends that are growing around on the interweb, essentially blaming Thomas Eric Duncan for lying his way into the country, for bringing this pathogen, as if sort of the body of an African is itself kind of a weapon that he's using against us in some horrible way.
All right, that's what passes for a talk show on MSNBC, ladies and gentlemen. I thought he did lie his way into the country. Joining us now is Bill Kristol, editor of the Weekly Standard. Hello, sir.
That thing you played there. People are really crazy.
Yeah, I would say it again because we had some trouble hearing you.
I said what you played there from MSNBC is just amazing. Those commentators are a little nuts. I mean, that seems to me, some of us have concern for the 2 Americans who died, who were infected. Hopefully they'll get better with Ebola, and that somehow makes us racist because we're concerned for these 2 young women.
Right. It seems like all they care about is the color and the color of the gentleman who came in and died, and very, very likely, I mean, according to their initial reports, he did lie, and Liberia was going to prosecute him if he survived. So I don't know what they're talking about there.
I'm against giving a visa to a white man who tries to come in from Liberia, and unless it's an emergency. So I think we should just shut off travel from those countries for our safety for the time being. So it's not a race matter at all. The neighboring countries in Africa have shut off travel from those countries and have actually protected themselves quite well so far. Are they motivated by racial motives? I kind of doubt it.
Well, MSNBC might find a way that they are. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Let me ask you this, Bill. We got word today, report that the immigration is looking for a contractor to print up to 34 million blank green cards and work permits to be issued to the tune of $4 million a year for 5 years in anticipation of Barack Obama's executive order on illegal immigration and making them legal.
They're kind of unbelievable. It's why, in my opinion, we need a Republican Congress that's willing to do what they can to stop this. And I think Congress does have the power of the purse and can probably stop the president to a large degree. And obviously, we need a president in 2017 who's not going to go forward with this. It's just the illegality, the sense that he doesn't have to get the consent of Congress to change immigration law, to cut a deal with Iran. That seems to be getting worse, not better, with this president. And I assume he may even try to go further if he loses control of both houses of Congress in 2 weeks. So really, we're going to need tough-minded Republicans and hopefully some conscientious Democrats who are willing to stand up to this president.
Stand up to him how?
Well, Congress can cut off funds. Congress can override legislation and executive orders. Congress can do a fair amount, I think, to stop him from can't do everything, but Congress can certainly limit the damage he can do in his last 2 years.
All right. Let me ask you about the great piece you wrote at the weeklystandard.com, the protocols of the Elders of Liberalism. You gotta just love the headline, the title.
Well, thank you. I mean, I was just trying to make the point that in the reaction to Ebola, we've really seen liberalism at its worst, at its contemporary, but unfortunately, what is its contemporary character, which is a combination of bureaucratic ineptness that's characterized big government liberalism, and a kind of nanny state political correctness. And those 2 things have come together in a way that I think has been damaging in this area and in so many others. Conservatives need to make that critique. They need to not just say, gee, Obama's a bad administrator who's playing too much golf. But this is what happens when one has liberal policies and big government bureaucracies and political correctness all coming together, and it's not good for the country.
What do you make of the appointment of the former chief of staff of Biden as the czar? I mean, not only no medical experience at all, but also apparently involved in the whole Solyndra affair.
Right. Well, as someone said to me over the weekend, I was saying just what you said. What's going on there? It's so crazy from his own political point of view. You get so much more out of it if you appoint a retired general or some moderate Republican governor who's retired, or someone would probably, a medical, former dean of a medical school. People like us would say, okay, well, you got to give this new person a chance. You appoint the Democratic political operative. But of course, I was saying this to a Democrat who said to me, well, of course we know why he appointed that person. He wants someone who will give him political cover for the next 2 weeks till the election. He doesn't want someone who's going to come in and tell the truth when he's interviewed on TV. He wants someone who's going to do everything he can to prevent any political damage.
Yep, well, he's Dr. Obama anyway. Bill, always great to talk to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Hey, great talking to you, Steve. Be well.
Take care. Bill Kristol. All right, folks, we'll be back as we take a look at the Louisiana Purchase. That's right. You remember that back in 1803, the largest and cheapest land purchase in U.S. history? American Moment next.
Thomas Jefferson is credited with doubling the nation's size through the Louisiana Purchase. But it was events far beyond his control that made that purchase possible. After becoming president in 1801, Jefferson recognized the Mississippi River had become a major trade route bordering the eastern boundaries of the United States. But he also recognized its vulnerability, since the city that controlled the mouth of the Mississippi, New Orleans, was owned by the French. America's overtures to purchase the city of New Orleans were repeatedly rejected by the French until 1803, when the French Navy suffered a major defeat off the coast of what is now Haiti. Napoleon found himself needing money to rebuild his navy. Consequently, when in that same year, Secretary of State James Monroe again traveled to Paris with an offer to purchase New Orleans, he was pleasantly surprised to learn Napoleon was willing to sell not only New Orleans, but all of France's territories in the New World. The United States was ready to spend up to $10 million to purchase just the city. So when Napoleon offered to sell all of their land holdings for a total of $15 million, the future presidents accepted. In one action, 828,000 square miles covering the future states of Arkansas, Colorado, Iowa, Kansas, Minnesota, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, New Mexico, North Dakota, South Dakota, Oklahoma, Texas, and Wyoming became part of America for less than 3 cents per acre. For Newsmax TV, I'm Bill Curtis, and this is an American Moment.